How are you?
Morning, everybody. I have my Wisconsin jersey here. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to put it on because it has the wrong apparel company, so it's an older one. What do I do in this spot?
Puma.
Champion.
Is that what you wore, Joe? Did you have Puma when you were playing?
No, but it was funny because I've got a Browns jersey from '99 hanging in my basement that I got from somebody. It was an amazing gift. It's got my autograph, which is kind of weird having it in my house, but autogram and Jim Brown autograph on there with pictures and stuff, and it's a Puma jersey. And my son was down there yesterday. He goes, Puma? They've never been an official NFL jersey supplier. And I was trying, well, like back in the day, they had more than just Nike. He's like, no, it's only Nike.
Wow.
And then I just stopped arguing with him. But Tauscher was a Reebok guy, I bet.
Yes, we had Reebok, for sure.
Yeah, I have my Lee Evans Adidas jersey. That's what I have.
There
it's
you
the
go.
only Wisconsin jersey I ever had was a Lee Evans.
Put it on.
That's a good one.
Put it on.
You want me to put it on?
Yeah,
I'm on board. Well, we love Lee Evans.
Yeah, he's the best.
Okay.
A legend.
All right, there we go. I'm gonna throw. It's the white jersey. What do we think? It's a little big on me, but
You can
it
hit the weight
looks
room.
good, right?
Bench press wouldn't hurt you at all.
yeah. Oh, I got nothing. I have nothing.
Too much time on the radio.
I heard what you guys were talking about there, and I think it's so interesting just where we're at, because when Joe said we're boring, we need to have conversations more than we need to worry about the football part of it. It's kind of like what Wilde and Tash we've been talking about for weeks, which is like my whole life. I obviously am not a big time athlete, but I played sports my whole life. My dad would say to me constantly, let your game do your talking. Let your game do your talking. Like, don't talk. And now I feel like all we need to do is actually talk because we want to avoid the game part of it. We just want to know that people are going out there and approaching people. Like, Joe, have they done enough to win you over?
As far as what goes?
Conversational. I'm not asking you about money or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, do you feel as one of the greatest players to ever play the sport, who, oh, by the way, happened to go to Wisconsin, do you feel like you're a part of the program?
See, I feel very biased to be able to answer this question because me personally, I do, but I've always had really deep ties to everybody in the program. And, I live in a neighborhood and my kids are friends with some of the coaches. And, I've always had really deep ties. And so I don't feel like I'm the right one to answer that because I would say yes. But I just am trying to hear from other people to feel like, has the program made the same level of outreach to you as well? And I understand that, not everybody's got unlimited time to be able to do all those things. But I think one of the things that Coach Alvarez was always really good at is making the alumni feel welcome, making the former players feel welcome, doing a great job reaching out to boosters and high school coaches. Like, he's Alvy, right? Everybody loves him. He loves being social. He loves talking to those guys and building those relationships. And so I don't know for sure because my experience is different than what I hear from a lot of other Wisconsin alumni, former players, boosters, things of that nature.
And I guess the point is it's easy to be nice to Joe Thomas. It's harder to be nicer to...
well, thank you. You're very kind. I appreciate
it. No,
that.
I mean, I know you're like, that's... All right, Jason, for you and I, non-players, I interpret that as Joe is as humble as a human being as could be, and he's basically saying, of course they're going to reach out to me, but they need to reach out to everybody else.
Right, and I would say that it's easy to reach out to the Pro Football Hall of Famer, right? Because there's something to get from him, right? His prominence with everything he's done, both as a player and after his career, you'd be stupid not to. But if you want to get buy-in, you need it from all of the alumni. And look, Tausch, I think you would tell me if you would disagree with this. I think the Packers, which obviously are not in the same, trying to drum up interest for their program and investment, etc., but they've done a better job in recent years of connecting with their alumni, right? You've got the alumni suite now. You guys are invited back more. Like, there was a time when they didn't do the greatest job of that. It's not apples to oranges, but that is an important piece. And guys want to feel wanted and invested. And the more guys that feel wanted and invested that play in your program, I'm not saying word of mouth is going to get you all the best players if you don't pay top dollar in today's realm. But I do think that if you have these ambassadors for your program who played in it, that's a huge opportunity. And other schools do have their former players doing that for them. And I don't feel like right now, based on what I see from former Badger football players, that the messaging is, oh my God, I love my program and I love where we're at and I am here to support it. I don't think they feel connected to it. You tell me.
Well, here's what I'll say. I think former players, whether it's at your college or your professional team, you just want to feel appreciated. You don't need to be welcomed back with, 100 different things. You want to feel appreciated. If you want to come back for a game, they will, help you out to do that. I think that's the first step. But as far as, especially, and let's just take Wisconsin, you want your alumni and players to feel a ton of pride in what's going on. And when things aren't going well, I don't have a problem, and I don't know if the administration and coaching staff has a problem with guys coming from a really good point of view, even though it's negative, because the season has not been great. I don't think that should be some big troubling thing. If I want my players to have high expectations, and then I want solutions if things aren't going well. So I think there's too much. Too much gets kind of put into some of the negative things that are said. What do you expect? Like that. Then it comes down to, okay, are you helping and are you interested in helping the process go? Mm-hmm. That really is the question to me. I think, can you always be better from an outreach standpoint and from whether it was the high school coaches or the boosters? Obviously you can. Like, I don't think there's ever going to be you're throwing a perfect game. It's showing effort and showing that you care and you want people bought in. That's how I would answer that.
Well, and I mean, like, on a smaller scale, obviously, than a former player, but like we announced today on our show nationally that we're bringing the show to Madison on Friday. Like, we're going to the Wisconsin-Illinois game.
Go.
Let's go.
There's a special
Las Vegas to the Midwest.
Well, Michelle Smallman went to Illinois. Obviously, I went to Wisconsin, and so like there is a good theme for us. And I'm trying to do my part. I mean, I like that. My part is now. Here's the tricky thing.
Thank you for your
no,
service.
But here's the tricky thing, right?
Yeah.
The tricky thing is, would it be a good idea or a bad idea to try to get Fickell on the show? Because I could argue it's a bad idea, because then you got to talk about Wisconsin football instead of just how great of a town Madison is that we're coming for the game the next day, right? I mean, like, and I'm not saying I would love to have Coach Fickell on in studio, but at the same time, as Joe said, we're kind of boring right now.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of bad teams, and I've been in that situation where you got to face the media every day. You got to talk about your team. You got to talk about the job that you're doing. It's not easy. It's not fun.
Did it ever hurt being out there and just saying, I understand where the fans are coming? Like, does that ever hurt on your end as a player when you would do that when you're going through a 1-16, 1-15 season?
And no matter what you say, you weren't on a lot of
Evan was on an 0-8 team. What was that group?
No, they won in the game he missed.
Yeah, exactly.
Congrats on all of your successes there. It's never fun. And no matter what you say, fans are going to hate it. Because in the end, it's a binary business. Are you winning or are you losing? That's the only thing anybody cares about. They don't care about outreach. They don't care about all this other stuff if you're winning. But when you lose, all those things creep up. And all those things that may be minor problems become huge problems. But as a head coach, as the AD, as the face of a franchise, as the face of a university, as a face of a program, like, you have to be ready to always be selling something, always be selling some hope and optimism, and be willing to take that criticism and know that if you do come on ESPN National with Evan and you talk about Wisconsin football, no matter what you say, people are going to hate it. But at least you're making the effort to be able to go out there and to sell a little bit of a vision and hope for the future. And what is the process? We know things aren't very good right now. Here's the mistakes we know we've made. Here's the solutions we're taking. And this is why we think it's going to be successful. I know everyone's going to hate it, but at least you're out there and you're doing those things. And at least you're sending some type of a message so people people don't have to create their own narrative about what's going on because of silence.
Great point. That is a really good point. Evan, I'm curious. You mentioned, obviously, Smalls went to Illinois. You obviously are around lots of people at ESPN that went to a lot of different schools. When you talk about the fact that you went to Wisconsin, what do they say right now?
they make fun of the football team and they talk about how great the town is. I mean, that's kind of commonplace with everyone because all of us know, spending as much time as we have in Madison and Joe and Tausch obviously living there. And I say by choice. Like, we have to note, like, Joe Thomas and Mark Tauscher live in Madison by choice because of how amazing of a place it is for them and their families and their lives and their connections. Like, Madison is unbelievable. You go to college in Wisconsin, it is unreal. But from a football perspective, no, I get ragged on. But and when I do the follow-up of, have you ever been to Madison? Oh, it's the greatest town ever. Oh, I heard it's the greatest town ever. Tell me about Halloween in Madison. And then I tell them I actually took a bus overnight to Big Ten Basketball Media Day because that's when it was, and I was covering it for the student newspaper. Anyway, but the point is, like, that they love Madison. They make fun of the football team, if I'm going to be real about it, Jason.
Yeah.
Questioning your decision-making skills at this point, but we can keep going.
This point.
Hey. Big J journalists, Evan and I, when we were students. All right, so Evan, tell us more road trip so people can be ready for your arrival. Like, what all do you have planned?
I'm glad you asked about this. So we're doing this show. So we get there on Thursday. Tausch arranged a dinner that I just learned yesterday. Oh, hold on, Joe. I learned yesterday. Tausch arranged a dinner on Thursday that Tausch is no longer going to.
That is true.
Defend yourself.
I just can't
What
make
is this?
I want to go.
No, I can't make it.
It just doesn't want to go.
No, I can't make it, but we are doing a fun thing on Friday. It's an all-day deal that it's going to be Evan and Michelle and Matt LePay and myself, and that's going to be a great time. They're going. I can't believe they're going. Like, the dinner's at like 8 or 8:30. It's too late.
That's
for me.
after my bedtime.
Yeah, it's too late.
Is the reservation in your
That's
name?
too late for you. I have to be up at 3 in the morning, Tausch. You made the
I
reservation.
said that it was going to be too late, that you guys wouldn't want it, but I was proven wrong. So I gently backed out.
Quiet quitting.
Yeah, something like
Quiet
that.
quitter.
I can't believe you guys are actually going that late.
What are you talking about? You set it up. You told them that we were going. You were
set
committed
it
to it.
up.
Yes, you did.
Sort of.
And then, by the way, there's a hole in the schedule. Have you noticed that? Tausch, what are we doing Friday night?
I don't know. Is there,
Literally nothing with
is
Tausch.
there something that you want to go do?
What's he doing, or what are you doing?
We're going to Joe's hunting
Well,
camp.
yeah, I guess.
Me,
What
you,
did
and
he
Smalls are
schedule
going to go
for
to
me that
Joe's
he's
hunting
backing
camp,
out?
uninvited. You ready?
So, wait, Tausch.
We got fiber. We can record live.
Yeah.
Is there a thought on Friday to revisit the same place as dinner on Thursday?
Sure. Yeah, we can revisit and take a look at that. Certainly.
Okay, all right.
All right.
But I'm very excited to be. Oh, and by the way, Saturday, in all seriousness, Jason, there's multiple shows going on. So ESPN College Tailgate Tour that Amber Wilson and Jonathan Zaslow do all across the country at the biggest games every week. Again, what are we doing for Wisconsin? I got them to do this. This is not the biggest game. Let me be honest with you. Wisconsin, Illinois.
Well,
we
the
got
SEC is playing all
shows.
cupcakes. It's cupcake week.
But Tausch, do you understand that national shows will be originating from Madison around the Wisconsin-Illinois game on Friday morning, Friday night, and Saturday morning?
Okay.
So when Joe says it's got to be more than just like the one-person outreach to the UW Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Famer, like, this is what we can – this is my part, is like promotion by way of national stuff, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to give the money that Big Cat or whoever Big Cat's going to get to be able to give money, but I can give promotion in an honest, moral, legal way, and that's what I think Joe's point is a good one. It's like, I know it comes off like kind of sappy and cheesy, but like, yeah, everybody's kind of got to do their part to rally the troops here. My part is marketing, promotion, content. Like, that's my part, right? Jason's part may be telling stories about the university in a way that maybe we hadn't seen before. Tausch's part is he should really be giving money, all of it, every dollar you've ever earned.
I was wondering where you were going to
penny.
go. I knew that it was going to be down some road of that ilk. So yes.
What? Okay, Joe, can I put you on the spot
Yes,
on
please.
something? Mm-hmm. If they wanted you to take over the whole thing, would you do it?
Ooh, great question.
In what capacity?
Yeah, that's
head
another good
coach?
question.
Chancellor.
Chancellor.
No.
Grand Poobah?
Let's say
Tim Barry?
they wanted you to be whatever would be the general manager.
Football GM.
Hold on, there is a general manager, so I don't want to fire someone. They want you to be above the general manager, below the athletic director for football.
Yeah, I guess I would say no, just off the top. But I would need to know what that looks like because life's pretty busy right now, and I don't want to have to say no to my children. Like, hey, son, can't go to your basketball game ever because I'm going to be doing X, Y, and Z for perpetuity. But I think your point's a good one. Like, everyone should do their part. Everyone should look and try to figure out, hey, what are the things that I can do to help promote this program? And, if it ever came to it, we'd have that discussion. We could have that conversation to see what it looked like because I do love the state. To your point, me, Tausch, we decided to move back here or move to Madison to be close because this university is so amazing. The city is so amazing. We wanted to raise our kids here. We wanted to be close to the Badger Kingdom right there in Madison because we love it. It's who we are. It's our identity. We're Badgers. Like, when you come to school here as a freshman, as an 18-year-old boy, and you become a 22-year-old man when you leave, and you go through Barry Alvarez and Brett Bielema, it gets into your blood, and it becomes a fabric of your identity that's stronger than maybe anything else. And I think that's why there's such a connection with alumni who went to school here or who played here, and there's so much passion in getting this thing right because it is so important, and it's not a thing that you just would cut and run from and be like, well, I guess I'm just not a Badger fan right now. Like, we're always going to be Badger fans. We're always going to have pride in who we are and what our university is and what our football and basketball teams are doing and hockey and all the other sports. Like, that's why we want it to be good. That's why it's so important to us. And so I think we're willing to do those things. And I think that's why it's like, hey, what can we do tangibly besides having the NCAA change the rule book and having some type of salary cap that can make a difference, that can get us back to our rightful place as one of the powerhouses in college football?
Yeah, and the salary cap thing is a defeatist attitude. I'm glad you said it that way because that's assuming we're going to be not as good as we should be forever. I would rather, it's like when people say the Dodgers are bad for baseball. No, the Pirates are bad for baseball. The Dodgers should be the example. Like, we shouldn't want a salary cap to lessen the other schools. We should want our school to raise so much money and have so much power in a positive way that we have no limitations.
Oh, Jason's shaking his head. Jason doesn't like that.
Go ahead,
I just don't think that's realistic, though. I mean, I think it's great to have that mentality as Badger fans. Like, yeah, we can do it. We can raise more money. We can put more money into NIL and be competitive with all these other schools. But I'm not sure that's completely realistic. I think we can get a lot closer than we are right now, certainly. But I do think ultimately it will be nice for competitive balance. And maybe it's not a salary cap to bring the haves down. Maybe it's more of a revenue sharing type thing that brings the have-nots up. And so it's more of an equal playing field, my opinion.
My only counter to the counter on that is
that in double negative? The counter to the
counter?
No,
here's what I would
Triple
say.
dog dare you.
Okay.
So when you think about NIL across the country, a lot of times you think about the money to get quarterbacks and receivers and pass rushers and running backs. You don't think about it to get Joe Thomas and Mark Tauscher. What I'm saying is let's actually invest in our strengths instead of our weaknesses. And instead of thinking about who our next quarterback is and who our next running back and wide receiver, let's make the offensive line, like it's always been, so unbelievably good. And let's spend our money there that you can have a B-level quarterback be totally sufficient because he has one split second more to throw the football.
I love that. Reallocation of the resources. That's something that you can tangibly do without having to raise a ton more money. Yeah, do we want more money? Of course. But, hey, instead of spending it poorly, we're going to spend it wisely on the things that have always been.
Stop biting your lip. Speak. I could see you're just biting it.
I like that.
You're on that. Go.
I'll co-sign on that.
I thought earlier Joe made a really good point about Wisconsin in-state recruits, which is you still have to pay them the competitive going rate. I don't think, as much as I love you guys, I don't think that where the program currently sits, that a kid that goes to Bayport or a kid that goes to Muskego is necessarily as nostalgic about the University of Wisconsin as a kid who got his first stuffed Bucky Badger when he was 4 years old, like me, who always dreamed of going there, not as a football player, obviously. So the money is going to matter even for in-state recruits. And Joe said that the idea would be the tie goes to keep it, to staying at home, to make it that appealing. I love everything you're saying. I just think that and I'm not going to pretend to understand all kids that are high school students today, but I don't know if there is the same pull for them. I'm sure for some of them there are. Others, I want to go to the highest bidder.
Right, but Jason, okay. But Jason, there's going to be two things that I will predict right now that will serve, in essence, as moneyball for college sports, and in this case, college football. So let's define
now
moneyball.
You're speaking Wilde's language.
You are indeed.
No,
Yes.
Moneyball is not the Oakland A's. Moneyball is finding value where others don't. So there's going to be two ways of doing it. Option A, actually not having a quick trigger finger, which Wisconsin is trying, right? Someone is going to find value in actually staying with the regime longer than fans and alumni and media think they should. That's an easy one. Option 2 is a little bit different. Option 2 is going to run an offensive system that no one else runs nor would steal players from. In other words,
telling me you want to go wing T or veer option like Don Morton did?
Don Morton.
Are you telling me you want to go
veer
veer option?
Fear the
Tausch,
veer.
Yes.
Someone will find value
Okay.
in saying, let's run, in essence, a wishbone. Let's just use that as an example. Where other schools will say, no, listen to me.
I'm listening.
Where other schools, I don't think you're
I'm
listening.
listening,
I think
Dad. Stop yelling at me.
It seemed like you're listening.
Where
listen when it's
somehow, some way, there will be a university and a football program that will say, we want to run something where no other school even tries to take our players because they don't run what they are able to run. That if we have the best offensive linemen and we're doing the old Belichick against the Bills on Monday Night Football a few years ago and running the ball 46 of 49 times and boring you to death, but we score more points than the other team, someone will ultimately find value in that.
It's like you listened to my 4-part Netflix series from Saturday. Because
Is that what you said?
I said we need to zig when everybody else zags. Because it was already 2 minutes long and Instagram told me nobody's going to watch this if it goes any further. I didn't get into the Belichick examples. But thank you, Evan, for being on the show because you're a Patriots guy and you understand what has Belichick always been the best at is finding value where other people don't.
You got Tom Brady as his quarterback and he couldn't win jack without him.
I get that. But,
okay.
All right, outside of that.
He's doing a great job at UNC doing
when
that,
everybody
by the
was
way.
3-4.
Yeah.
3-4 when everybody was 4-3. Doing things differently so that you can find guys that have value that other people maybe don't want and build a system and a structure and a program around those guys. I mean, it's not that far off from what Alvy was doing, right?
Exactly.
We were ground and pound. We were physical, tough-nosed, hard-working dudes from the Midwest and the East Coast. And, there wasn't a lot of value in those players to other people. Now, you got to pay a little bit more for them now, but you can build a roster that leans into that strength and then recruit and pay those guys that maybe other schools aren't willing to pay as much. And so you can find value in those guys and win with maybe 10, 15, 20% less NIL money than some of those other big schools. I love that idea. That was my idea.
And here's another place you can find value where others don't. Start knocking on the doors of the other sports and see if you can use any of their players that they already budgeted for on your team.
That might be a harder stretch. I'm going to be totally honest.
Why? Chris Chambers. What was Chris Chambers?
Oh, God.
Yeah, but they recruited him as a football player. I mean, I was football track, Chambers football track, Jonathan
football,
Taylor.
Could use
track.
Brad Davis at a
But
quarterback
we were
this year.
football players first, and I don't think we're sliding under the radar, and nowadays.
Just saying.
Michael Bennett, football, and then also did track. It's not like there's all these dudes
Reggie
that are getting
Torian.
paid a bunch of money. Yeah, exactly. Paid a bunch of money in all these other sports that nobody knew they were good football players. That were, oh yeah, we're gonna get this $1 million sprinter from the Badgers to come out for the football team. Sorry, that's a bad take,
right.
Evan. I like that we're brainstorming here, but I don't think that one's gonna work.
And they can play. They can play their games in fantasy land. All right, Evan. Safe travels to Madison.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
Hey,
late
do
night.
you want? So Joe and I were just talking. Do you want us to leave our holiday cards here for you?
That's a great point.
Or do you
God
want us
almighty.
to mail them to you? Because I know how interested you are. Just because we're here and you're coming in a couple of days, how would you like that?
Yeah, you can take it and put it in a shredder is what I'd like you to do, Tausch.
So what
I
I hear
just
is he
don't
wants us
understand
to
the fact
make
you're,
a
snap.
3-minute
you're such
reel.
a good friend to us. You've been so good to, and you don't care about people's lives. Like, think about that, Evan. You don't care what Joe and Annie have done with their family and what their kids are doing. You don't want to know? Like that seems so unlike you. You're such a you
Made
got that
him
hard
cry.
you got that hard exterior where you try to be all tough and then you weep up at Canty's baby shower and Small's telling you how great you are, and I loved how uncomfortable you were when she's telling you how great of a husband you are. You're all that, and then when we try to share our lives with you, you tell us to shred it and you don't care? Look at you've sent Joe out. That's how upset he is.
Joe left.
That make it make sense to me, Evco. Okay. He can't. Or he hung up.
Did he hang up?
I don't know.
It appears Evan froze. Yeah.
All right. I'm better.
You gonna be all right?
I'm better, guys.
Okay, let's get you a beef stick over break. Here.
Thank you. That's what I need right now.
All right, that was Evan Cohen, who had no real response. So the timing there, troubling to say the least.
Maybe he
all
hung up. Yeah. Maybe he hung up.
I don't know what happened there. We need to continue on. We've lost complete control of the show. So it feels like a good time for me to tell you about one of our favorite things to do this time of year. It's time again for your chance to win Kringle for a year. It's the jingle for your Kringle contest. It's back. Presented by Racine Danish Kringles. This is your chance to let your creative juices flow and deliver a musical performance and potentially win Kringle for a year. Now, remember, our one rule, in addition to it having to be under 60 seconds, is you have to include the line, it's not just a treat, it's a tradition in your jingle. Submit your entry and find contest rules at our new website, jingleforyourkringle.com. That's right, jingleforyourkringle.com. Jingle for Your Kringle, brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. 800-4DANISH or kringle.com to order this holiday season. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn